Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity, and unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Bayat Adawadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. Sunday afternoon camp. Lord willing to be edifying, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the book of Sirach, chapter 35. Sorry, I skipped it. Sirach, chapter 35, starting at verse 6, and it says, I'm going to start at verse 5. For all these things are to be done because of the commandment. Verse 6, the offering of the righteous maketh the altar fat, and the sweet savor thereof is before the Most High. Verse 7, the sacrifice of a just man is acceptable, and the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten. Verse 8, give the Lord his honor with a good eye, and diminish not the first fruits of thine hand. All right, in verse 9 it says, in all thy gifts show a cheerful countenance, and dedicate thy tithes with gladness. Okay, so as a way of saying, blood, sweat, and respect. Okay, the first two you give, the last one you earn. Okay, so by putting all of our blood and sweat and our hard work, so to speak, into this truth, and doing what is required of us, that's how we gain respect amongst each other, and first and foremost, ultimately gain the respect of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, because you are showing that you are serious about this. You are dedicated to it. Okay? You're not taking this lightly, because this is not something to take lightly. Okay, now we're going to get Colossians. It's going to be Colossians chapter 3. Salaki, let me get there real quick. In fact, let me get this one precept right here. This is Philippians chapter 1. So, this is Colossians chapter 1, verse 18. It says, what then? Notwithstanding every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Hamashiach is preached, and I therefore do rejoice, and I will rejoice. Verse 19, for I know that this shall turn to my salvation through your prayer and the supply of the Spirit of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Verse 20, according to my earnest expectation and my hope that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness, as always, so now also Yahweh Shai HaMashiach shall be magnified in my body, whether it be life or by death. Verse 21, for me to live is Hamashiach, and to die is gain. 22, but I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor. Yet what I shall choose, I wot not. Okay? So, for me to live is Yahweh Shai, right? Because he is the light and he is the way. He is the way which leadeth to life, right? And to die is gain. To die for this truth. All right? To forsake everything of this world and to die with this, you gain everything. Because the Lord said that you shall gain 100-fold if you forsake, family, your possessions, your livelihood. You shall gain everything back and then some. Okay? Like, think about it. We all know that this place is falling apart, so why hold on to it? There's no reason to. Okay, the things that are seen are only temporary, but the things that are not seen are eternal. So, what the hell? This shit's gonna be gone anyway. And so I'm gonna read verse 22 again. It says, "But I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor." Okay? This is the fruit of our labor, this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and getting it out to the sincere believers and listeners. So, okay, so we also, with great boldness, we have nothing to be ashamed of. Yeah, we stand out here as fools for the Lord's sake, but you know, to the people of this world, yeah, we're foolish, but to the Lord, we're wise, okay? Because we have this, and He gave us to this, and then He gave this to us. Excuse me. So, if you really think about it, this, these, Slovakia, stuttering, but when you come into this, you have to know what you're involved in, because this is a serious matter. And at the same time, yes, it's a serious matter, but you should rejoice, because now you have something to actually live for, to look forward to, but you have to work for it. Just because the Lord woke you up to this and you know that you're an Israelite, you have the names, okay, and you have faith, but you have to show your faith by your works. After all, the scriptures say, James 2:20, roughly paraphrasing, faith without works is dead. Okay, now I'm going to get Colossians here, chapter 3. I'm going to start at the top, verse 1. And it says, "If ye then be risen with Yahushua, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of Yahweh." Another roughly paraphrase, lay your treasures up in heaven. Okay? Lay not your treasures here on earth, because the things that are left here after you die, someone else is just going to take it and claim it, right? But storing up your treasures in heaven, that's something that's reserved for you. Okay? And nobody can take that away from you. Verse 2, "Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth." For verse 3, "For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach in Yahweh." Yeah, we're dead in this society. We're dead because we're not that same person that we once were. Okay, we're striving for something that actually has meaning, sound meaning. Verse 4, when Hamashiach, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him in glory. Lord willing that we're of the elect, and that we get out of here on the first go around, and we don't suffer, and Lord willing that that we're not numbered amongst the 2/3 out here. Verse 5, "Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry." Roughly paraphrasing again, rebellion is as witchcraft, right? And rebellion means to make war. So if you're rebelling against Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, you're making war with him. And idolatry, not just carnally, but also spiritually, following after other philosophies, after false gods. Okay? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is the only power, the only God that you should worship. Okay? No other. The Father and the Son they are both worthy of the praise. Okay? They're the only powers you should worship. The Son is worthy of worship. Okay? Verse 6, for which things sake the wrath of the Most High cometh on the children of disobedience. So, Again, rebellion, disobedience, the wrath of the Most High cometh on the children of disobedience. So you turn away from this book, which is the Lord's word. You turn away from it, you know, you're basically asking for that you're asking for it. Verse 7, in the which ye also walked sometime when ye lived in them. Yeah, who we once were, but we're not that same person anymore. You know? Verse 8, but now you also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. 9, lie not to one another, seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds. 10, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him. Okay? So putting off the old man and putting on the new man, you want to become the best version of you for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay? Because he called you into this for something greater, and he expects better of you. Okay? We are to be like him. To become him is the best version of ourselves, because once again, he is the way. There is no way but him. Okay? So, what other way? What other way is there? No way but him. He's the answer to it all. Okay, so let me get it's gonna be the book of Acts. Acts chapter 20. Acts chapter 20, I'm gonna start at 19. This is Apostle Paul here. And it says, verse 19, Acts 20 and 19, it says, serving the Lord with all humility of mind, and with many tears and temptations which befell me by the lying in wait of the Jews. Yeah, because at one time, you know, Apostle Paul, he at the time he was persecuting Israelites at the time, until the Lord, you know, until the Lord had, you know, came to him, woke him up to what, you know, chose him to be that vessel to get this truth out. So, you know, Apostle Paul had to suffer many things, you know, being threatened, being, you know, have his life threatened, being chased down and all that. Okay, verse 20 says, and how I kept back nothing that was profitable unto you, but have showed you and have taught you publicly and from house to house. 21, testifying both to the Jews and also to the Greeks. And that's not talking about the heathens, that's talking about the Israelite foreigners, the Hellenistic Jews, which were Greek-speaking Israelites that took on the customs of the Greeks. Repentance toward Yahweh, and faith toward our Lord Yahushai HaMashiach. 22, and now behold, I go bound in the spirit unto Jerusalem, not knowing the things that shall befall me there. Okay? Because, you know, being in this and having this, you know, this is going to make you, you know, to the society an outcast. Okay? So think of all the stuff that, you know, the people before you, the men before us had gone through, preaching and teaching this word. You know, they've been jailed, they've been mocked and scoffed, you know, amongst other things. So again, Yahushai and the men before us went through it, so we got to. Okay, 23, save that the Holy Spirit witnesseth in every city, saying that bonds and afflictions abide in me. 24, but none of these things move me, neither count I my life dear unto myself, so that I may finish my course with joy and the ministry which I have received of the Lord Yahushai, to testify the gospel of the grace of Yahweh. Okay, so, you know, life is full of hurdles. You know, you can only jump in order to start the race. To be in the race, you got to jump, got to move, run. Okay, And that's what we're doing here. In fact, where is it at? First. So again, life is full of hurdles, man. You can only jump to get into, to be in the race. 1 Corinthians 9 and 24, and it says, "Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain." Okay, so being this is a race. Okay, this race is also our labor. Okay, putting in this work, doing it to the best of our ability, to show ourselves approved, that we are worthy of mercy and salvation. Okay, so this grace period, man, you gotta, while we still have it, you gotta get as much of this knowledge, wisdom, understanding you can get. You gotta move as far as you can until that time comes when, the famine of the word comes, and that's it. You just gotta roll with what you know. And Lord willing, that, that not only will what you've learned from this will be enough, but, ultimately pray that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to be with you in those days. Because it's about to get really messed up out here. These people not knowing what the hell's going on, going to be wanting answers, prone to violence. We're just prone to being an overall beast. You're going to see these people revert to beasts. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 6. "But this I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap bountifully." Okay, so you only get what you put in. Okay, you're not going to get more unless you put in more. Okay, the more you do, the more you receive. The less you do, the less you get. That's how it works. Okay, if you want more, you got to do more. If you want better results, you got to do better and do more. Okay, see if I can find that script in the Sirach 48. Is it 48? No. Let's see. Where is it at? If I could find it, let's see. But roughly paraphrasing, for the Lord, you can never go far enough, and we can't. You gotta keep pushing and giving more. Let me get this next one here. This is gonna be the book of Luke. Luke chapter 21. Luke 21 and let me get there real fast. Luke 21 and Luke 21 and 19, and it says, "In your patience possess ye your souls." Okay? So you have to be patient in all things, but first and foremost, be patient with yourself. Okay? You have to realize, when you look in the mirror, you have to realize, overall, what kind of person are you really, and realize what are your strengths, weaknesses, and how can you work on them? How can you work on yourself ultimately? You have to have patience to know yourself and how to control yourself, and to ultimately do better for yourself. Okay? So, I'm going to read that again. Luke 21:19. In your patience, possess ye your souls. Okay? So you got to... see. So, you know, no matter what you're going through in life, whether it be your personal life, work, or just out in the world, you know, you gotta be patient with yourself and just be aware. Okay, and this is okay. Okay, I'm gonna read. This is gonna be Luke 20. Salakia. Luke 22. Luke 22 and 27, and it says, let's see. Okay, so verse 20. Okay, Salakia. Luke 22 and 20. I'm gonna start at 25. Salakia. And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. Verse 26. But ye shall not be so, but he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief as he that doth serve. 27. For whether is greater, he that sitteth at meat, or he that serveth? Is not he that sitteth at meat? But I am among you as he that serveth. 28. Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations. And 29. And I appoint unto you a kingdom as my Father hath appointed me. Okay? Verse 30. That ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So as a benefactor, like it says, if you're exercising lordship and authority over people, but at the same time, you know, when you're in authority, yes, you have the power, and the right, but you at the same time you're serving the people. Okay, so a king is a servant to his people. Why? Because his people rely on him. They come to him. Okay, they rely on him for the answer. They rely on him for what to do. Excuse me. Okay, so a king not only rules, but he also serves his people, because, you know, his people are relying on him to guide them. Okay, he's there to help them. Okay, but right now we're under the rulership of a king that's not fit to serve, because yeah, he rules, he has the power and authority, but he he doesn't stick to his own rules, and plus he don't give a damn about the people that are suffering. He doesn't even give a damn about his own people, and that's Esau Edom, so-called white man. All right, this is Sirach chapter 16 verse 40. Sirach 16 and 40. And it says, wait. Slovakia, give me a second here. Oh, Slovakia, that was the wrong one. Second Esdras, Slovakia. Oh boy, that was bad. Slovakia, Second Esdras chapter 16, verse 40. And it says, "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth." Okay? So, you know, it's coming down to that time. Okay? We're you know, aside from, you know, aside from what's going on with Russia, China, Israel, Gaza, and America and all that right now, you know, the next thing that's, you know, America here is on the brink of civil war, with the whole thing with the immigration, the Texas border, the Arizona border, the California border, and then all the other states that have these immigrants, and they're trying to get them out. And you know, you know, ever since all these immigrants have come in, the rate in crime has gone way up. You know, they were this was like a week ago, but they were talking about a couple of New York City cops that got the shit beat out of them by I think it was like 5 or 6 so-called Latinos. Yeah, man, the cops are getting their asses kicked. Regular civilians are getting robbed. So yeah, man, this, you know, oh, man, you know, that just goes to show you what time we're living in. Okay. All right, Second Esdras chapter 16, verse 40. I'm gonna read it again. It says, "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those days, and in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth." So there's going to be times where we're not going to have no certain place to stay for a long period of time. We're going to have to be able to maneuver, go around, stay from place to place for a temporary amount of time. Then we have to get up and move again. Okay? As the scriptures say, this place is not our rest. This is not our rest. This is not the place where we prosper, grow, and, you know, become successful. No, this place is a fucking prison. You don't prosper in a fucking prison. You suffer in a fucking prison. Okay? But Jake out here, the 2/3, they're so busy with chasing that bag, trying to go for entrepreneurship, trying to start their own business and shit. They're in a society that's falling apart. You're trying to accumulate all this money, and for what? Just to lose it and it becomes useless? Okay? As it says right here, verse 41, "He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will loose." So people that are out here with their businesses, things are going to just shut down, and him that buyeth as one that will lose. Yeah, there won't be no buying and selling. It'll just be straight up pure survival at that point. You know, and that's the thing, you know, the storms of life, you know, we're meant to go through them, you know, not to camp out there. Okay, let me get Sirach 14. Sirach chapter 14, verse 2. And it says, let's see. Blessed is he, Sirach 14 and 2, "Blessed is he whose conscience hath not condemned him, and who has not fallen from his hope in the Lord." Okay? So, optimism is a cure for a lot of things, yes, because you got to be motivated. You know, even though you could be going through some shit, you know, you still have to have that mindset of like, okay, I got to deal with this, but you know what? I can overcome it. Okay, you gotta have that. You gotta have a, you have to, as my grandfather always said, you gotta learn to make a positive out of a negative. Okay, when you're in a situation, you can't look at it from a negative aspect. You gotta look at it from a positive view. Okay, because, having that negative mindset, of like, oh shit, oh fuck, now I gotta deal with this shit, blah, 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 or whatever, as the scriptures say, roughly paraphrasing, think not some strange thing that happened unto you. Okay? In fact, let me see if I can get that one, because that script is so true. 2 Peter, I think. There we go. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 13, or verse 12, sorry. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you as though some strange thing happened unto you. Okay? So think it not strange. If something happens in your life, you have to have that mindset of like, you're being, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is watching you and testing you every day. And if you fail to realize that, then you're lost. This obviously isn't for you, because every day we're being tested with this, with that, and just the Lord is He's testing you to see how you're going to react. Are you gonna react logically? Or are you gonna react emotionally? Okay. So you have to you really have to step back and think about that, because every day, we don't know what, only the Lord knows, only Yahweh knows how this is going to end and when it's going to end. Okay, not even the Son know. Yahweh Shai don't know, but Yahweh knows. This is His story, His playbook. So the Father knows when and how it's going to end for everything. So, the best thing to do is just to pray and just hope that, that we make it. That's why you got to have you have to have a healthy dose of fear, but, be optimistic, be happy that Yahweh Hashem Yahshua has called you into this. Now let me go back to Sirach chapter 14, verse 2. So once again, Sirach 14 and 2. In fact, I'll read from verse 1, and it says, blessed is the man that hath not slipped with his mouth, and is not pricked with a multitude of sins. Blessed is he that hath not slipped with his mouth, basically not telling on himself, catching himself in the trick bag, basically. And is not pricked with a multitude of sins, a multitude of wrongdoings. Verse 2, blessed is he whose conscience hath not condemned him, and who is not fallen from his hope in the Lord. Okay, so, just gotta, as I said earlier, you gotta first be patient with yourself. You gotta master yourself. Master your mind, your body, your spirit. You gotta do that, because that's the best way. That's the best way to be. All right, this is gonna be Isaiah. Isaiah 43. Isaiah 43. 43 and 1. And it says, but now thus saith the Lord, that created thee, O Jacob, And he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. Verse 2, when thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers. They shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burnt, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. So again, the storms of life, we have to go through them. Okay? The only way is, they say experience is the best teacher. Yes, but also pain can also be the best teacher, because it teaches you, okay, now you know better not to do that. You won't have to feel that pain anymore, because now you know better. So we have to go through it. We have to go through those birth pains, as the scriptures say. We have to go through those birth pains in order to get to this, in order to get to it, okay? And there's going to be a lot of pain we're going to go through. Physical, mental, emotional, ultimately spiritual. But you have to have your mind stayed on the scripts, because the scripts are the we have the cheat codes, as they say, we got the playbook. Okay, this is going to be Exodus chapter 3. Exodus chapter 3. Exodus 3 and 9. Page won't turn. Exodus 3 and 9, and it says, now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me. And I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them. Okay? So, an oppressed people can't stay oppressed forever. Eventually, that longing for freedom is going to manifest itself, okay? Because you see now, because being under Esau, Edom, we're all oppressed, mainly the Israelites, but so are the other heathen nations, and they're waking up to see that this pale-skinned cave dweller is nothing but a fucking devil. Okay, all that were confederate with thee are now starting to turn against him. All that are confederate with thee have turned against thee. These other nations, they now realize that this man doesn't have their best interest at heart, because he's all about himself all day, every day. It's just him. But them, basically, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm taking everything, and then some. That's just Esau, Edom. He's never satisfied. He's a pig. This is going to be 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, starting at verse 4. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light, and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Verse 6. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. And when they say being asleep, they're talking about in a time of ignorance, not knowing any better of what's really going on, a time of moral stupidity. So we have to watch and be sober. So keep your eyes open and be sober. Be in your right mind, Don't get carried away. Don't fall by other doctrine or philosophy. Don't let nothing sway you from this truth, man. Okay? Don't let the world and the people and their ways brainwash you. be brainwashed by this. This is right here is the true brainwashing, which is the renewing of the spirit in the right way. This is the brainwash our people really need. So, verse 7, for they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunk in the night. And when you look at drunken in the night, the metaphor, you know, people that murdered profusely, you know. So these are people that are basically, they're just, as I said before, they're just beasts. They have no self-control. You know, they're completely out of order. They do whatever the hell they want. And verse 8, it says, but let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith, and love, and for an helmet the hope of salvation, which is this book. Okay, this is our breastplate, our helmet, our sword and shield. This is our armor. Okay, this is our battle gear. Okay, and this is going to be our battle gear in those days to come, man. You know, Lord willing that all hell breaks loose this year, this is going to be our battle gear, this book. Okay, this is going to be like I said, this is going to be the one thing that's going to save you. Okay, it's good to have, you know, worldly skill and knowledge, like, you know, if you're out there in the wilderness, you know what to look for, what not to look for, what to eat, what not to eat. You know how to build a fire, build a shelter from nature. But like I said, at the end of the day, the Lord is going to direct you where He's going to direct you. You know, just got to hope and pray that, you know, that you're going to make it out of there. This is going to be Sirach 36. Sirach 36, and starting from verse 1. And it says, have mercy upon us, O Lord. Lord Yahweh B'Shem El all, and behold us. And verse 2, and send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. Verse 3, lift up thine hand against the strange nations, and let them see thy power. Verse 4, and thou wast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us. Verse 5, and let them know thee as we have known thee, that there is no power but only thou, O power. 6, show new signs and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. Verse 7, raise up indignation and pour out wrath, take away the adversary and destroy the enemy. Okay, so, you know, Yahweh B'Shem El Shai has been giving us signs. Floods, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes. You know, people around the world, they're going through hell. Okay, these heathen nations, they're starting to understand. They're starting to feel the weight come bearing down on them. Why? Because the Lord's indignation against those who have oppressed His people. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, number 1, numero uno. Moab, the so-called Chinese. Ammon, the so-called Japanese. Ham, so-called Africans. Japheth, the so-called Polynesians, the Pacific Islanders. Ishmael, the so-called Arabians. Excuse me. Elam, the so-called Hindus, the Hindu people, the Middle Eastern Indians. Asher, the so-called Assyrians, and Aram, the so-called Syrians. All those other nations have they've one point of time had us in captivity. You can go into the book of Judges for that. So, and also to the 2/3 of our people, they are also the adversary as well, because they join hand in hand with the heathen. They don't want to do right. Verse 8, Sirach 36:8, make the time short, remember the covenant, and let them declare thy wonderful works. So, for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Lord willing, that I myself and you sincere Aki and Akwath are a part of that we, that we have a place amongst amongst the remnant, amongst the 1/3. Excuse me. Verse 9, let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people. And what's that fire talking about? The rage of that fire. That's talking about that thermonuclear fire, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it in a lot of films. Those, that's how Esau Edom shows what's going to happen through post-apocalyptic movies or so, of nothing but destruction. Bombs going off, cities being blown away into nothingness, desolate lands, no life, just death. Like what movie? Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Shoot, there's a bunch of movies you can go into that talk about the end times. 2012, Geostorm. Another movie that could be like another good movie is The Higher Power. I'll do a lesson on that, Lord willing, someday. Verse where was I? Oh yeah. Verse 10, it says, smite and sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen that say, there is none other but we. Because those heathens, man, these heathens that are in power right now, they're built up with all that pride. So Yahweh Shem Yahushua has to come and humble them down to let them know, like, look, bitch, I was the one that put you in the position that you're in. Okay, you didn't do this by yourself. I'm the one that put you here. Verse 11, gather all the tribes of Jacob together, and inherit thou them as from the beginning. Verse 12, O Lord, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name, and upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn. In fact, you know what? Let's go back to Exodus. Chapter 4, verse 22. And this was, excuse me. In fact, I'm going to read verse 21. And it says, and the Lord said unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thine hand. But I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go. Verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. Okay? So, Israel is my son, my firstborn. Through the Spirit, yes, we are the firstborn. Yes, physically, carnally, yes, Esau came out first out of Rebekah's womb. So yes, he physically is our our elder twin big brother, but spiritually, Jacob is the older one because he was the one that was chosen for the blessings and the promises. Okay. Let me see. It's, Psalms 119. Psalms 119, starting at verse 1. Psalms 119:1 says, Blessed are the undefiled in the way, who walk in the law of the Lord. 2. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies, and that seek him with the whole heart. 3. They also do no iniquity. They walk in his ways. Verse 4, thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. 5, oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. 6, then shall I be not ashamed when I have respect unto all thy commandments. 7, I will praise thee with uprightness of heart when I shall have learned thy righteous judgments. 8, I will keep thy statutes. Oh, forsake me not utterly. So, blessed are they which walk undefiled in the way of the Lord. Blessed are they which are undefiled and walk in the way of the Lord and keep his law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability. Because that shows that you are sincere in the Lord's eyes. That shows that you're willing to, leave this bullshit alone and leave it behind and follow him and do things as he intended for things to be done. Okay? And we hope and pray that he doesn't take his his spirit from us and throw us back out throw us back out into the wilderness to be a beast again. We don't want to be that beast that we once were. Okay? Now I'm going to get Sirach 39. Sirach 39. Sirach 39:1. And it says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. Joshua 1:9, or Joshua chapter 1. Let me get it. My mind is already on it. Joshua chapter 1, verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So, doing the things that are in this book, you will have good success. The Lord will, the Lord will, he'll reward you. Okay. Lord, let's see. Yeah, Sirach 39, verse 2, he says, he will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. Verse 3, he will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables. So seeking out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables. And the truth of things. Okay? Grave sentences, the judgments. Okay? We will, if we stay meditated upon these scriptures and we seek out, the wisdom of renowned men of old, we will be conversing in dark parables, because the Lord speaks in a code. He doesn't speak like how we speak now. Okay? But he speaks direct and plain, just in a parable. Okay? That's how the Most High gets down. In dark parables, saying similitude. You just have to understand. Verse 4, he shall serve among great men and appear before princes. He will travail through strange countries. For he hath tried the good and the evil among men. Verse 5, he will give his heart to resort early to the Lord that made him, and will pray before the Most High, and will open his mouth in prayer and make supplication for his sins. Okay? So, not only being dedicated to the Lord is, fasting and studying and, getting the word out, but you also have to pray for the forgiveness of your sins and your wicked ways. And that goes to your past lives too, okay? Whatever you did in your past life, you still got to pray for it. Pray that Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua will have mercy on you, and that you won't die because of a past life ordeal or event or whatever happened. Verse 6: When the great Lord will, he shall be filled with the spirit of understanding. He shall pour out wise sentences and give thanks to the Lord in his prayer. Verse 7: He shall direct his counsel and knowledge, and in his secret shall he meditate. So, like I said, a man directs. So again, the Lord directs a man's footsteps. Okay? And if a man's ways please the Lord, he'll make your enemies be at peace with thee. But also, you have to establish your mind in the Lord. As a matter of fact, let me get that scripture. Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 6. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. So there you go. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 6. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. So give all the honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and just remember that he's the one that's in control. Okay? Oh shoot, I just skipped it. 9. Going back to Sirach chapter 39, verse 8. He shall show forth that which he hath learned, and shall glory in the law of the covenant of the Lord. 9. Many shall commend his understanding, and so long as the world endureth, it shall not be blotted out. His memorial shall not depart away, and his name shall live from generation to generation. 10. Nations shall show forth his wisdom, and the congregation shall declare his praise. Verse 11. If he die, he leave a greater name than 1,000, and if he live, he shall increase it. Verse 12. Yet I have no more to say which I have thought upon, for I am filled as the moon is full. Okay? So a man that lives a godly life and does right by the word, when he passes away, his reputation, his name will be greater than 1,000 and will be from generation to generation. People will talk about him, tell stories about him, of how he lived his life and what he did. In fact, I think there's Ecclesiastes. There we go. Ecclesiastes 7:1. And it says, a good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. So, a good name, a good reputation is better than precious ointment. Cologne, perfume, deodorant, it's whatever, because eventually that good smell is going to turn into must, smelling bad or whatnot. But a good name that stays as long as a man does right and stays right. But that reputation can be ruined if he turns away from this. So remember, man, you turn away from this, your righteousness will be, all the righteous things that you supposedly did when you were in this will be forgotten, and the Lord is going to blot you out. Okay, so Oh, I'm gonna get, actually, I can read more on this. Verse 2, it is better to go into the house of mourning, Ecclesiastes 7 and 2. It is better to go into the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and all the living will lay it to his heart. So, so all this mirth and celebration and having a party and all that, these people have no idea of what's coming. When all this shit is taken away from them, and they're left with nothing but just to survive and do what they gotta do, these people are gonna panic, they're gonna be stressed out, they're gonna be fucked up and fucked off, and they're all gonna die. That's why it's better to be in the house of mourning, because, in fact, let me see. Ah, there we go. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 3. And it says, sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. So by knowing more of what's really going on, knowing more of the truth, yeah, sorrow is gonna make your countenance, it's gonna the heart is made better, the mind is made better, because now you know what's going on. And the more you know, yeah, the more it's gonna be, it's not gonna be good. It's gonna be rather sorrowful, because you now know what the latter end is gonna be. And you just hope and pray that you're not gonna be on the receiving end of it. So that's why fear is a requirement. You have to fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, man. Verse 4, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. So all these people that are out in the world, chasing the bag, drinking, smoking weed, trying to get bitches and all that, and those are fools. They're what more could be said? Verse 5, and it says, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. So, it's better to be corrected on what's wrong with you, so that way you can better yourself, than to continue being a fool and listening to the psychobabble of all these zombies that know nothing. So yeah, going back to Sirach chapter 39. Let's see, I'm gonna read verse 11, and it says, and if he die, he shall leave a greater name than 1,000, and if he live, he shall increase it. So, that's part of leaving a legacy, man. You want to leave a legacy on, based on how you lived your life. That when it is remembered, you can say, hey, this guy was good. It was great. These are the things that he did. You have to show, but in order for that to happen, you have to first live your life in a godly way, according to the scriptures. Okay? Because this is the one thing that's going to help you live that life where, your reputation will be, something to be admired. Because in this book, if you do things right by the Lord, nobody can say anything bad about you. Nothing. All right, I'm going to close out with this. This is going to be Jeremiah chapter 6. Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. And it says, thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. So, yeah, it's the 2/3. They said they will not walk therein. They don't want to return to the old ways, the ancient ways, the original ways. They want to go by the ways of the future Esau, Edom's way, with his science, his technology, and all this crap, signs and lying wonders. That's what they like. That's what they want. Okay? So, once again, all I gotta say, is repent. Repent and return back to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, because He's the only way. Okay? He is the progenitor. He is the author. He's the finisher. You can't. You gotta let this place go. Okay? It's a dead end here. That's all it is. It's a dead end. And also, never stop learning. Keep pushing for that knowledge and wisdom and understanding. Okay? Because that way, in that day, when you have that knowledge and wisdom and understanding, courtesy of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and Lord willing, that the Lord be with us in those days. People are going to be looking for answers, but the Lord will have you with the answer. And you'll be able to maneuver accordingly to avoid certain situations. All right? So, with that, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Ba'ath Dabadah, the elect house of David, that are scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you in the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharallah, Shalom, Barakatam.